Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Update and background of the closure of the school section of the Dewsbury Markaz, Wednesday 23rd November 2022. The closure of the school section of the Dewsbury Markaz compound has come to public notice after an initial leak of the draft letter on the evening of the 20th of November. The leak letter shows how deeply the school was infiltrated by disloyal employees who were being regularly instigated by former employees to bring the madrasa down to its knees. Further explained below. The original purpose of the Dewsbury Madrasa was nothing beyond having a Hifz class, but later in the early 80s, permission was given by Hazrat Ji Maulana Inamul Hasan Rahmatullahi Alayh to take a limited intake of up to 50 pupils. However, due to its popularity and world-renowned Tajweed program, the entire Western world was attracted to this wonderful madrasa. Naturally, this brought with it a power struggle, and with the inclusion of some of the most capable ulama who were sent from Nizamuddin, Raiwand and Kakrel, it gradually shaped itself into an ideal institute for Tarbiyah, Hifz, a balanced intermediary years curriculum of the world-renowned Dars-e-Nizami. There were many occasions where controversy and complaints were brought to public attention, but it was the elders within the Dewsbury Markaz who managed to settle disputes. On one occasion, the school had failed its Ofsted inspection miserably in early 2000. During the time of Maulana Saeed Patel, son of Hafiz Patel Rahmatullahi Alayh, who was responsible for the administration of the madrasa at that point. On this occasion, the Markaz elders, known as the Shura, intervened and took over the administration of the madrasa. This matter was then taken to the Nizamuddin World Markaz in Delhi, where Hazrat Maulana Saad made a decision in favor of the ulama who were running the madrasa, that is Maulana Saeed etc. And the Shura of the Markaz was told not to intervene but rather play a supporting role with the ulama. The turbulence was always there within the institute, where at times a fatwa on the moon sighting issue became a means of severe tension between the ulama and non-ulama. A senior scholar who is no longer with us distanced himself from the institute on that basis. Another senior mufti also had to leave because of scholarly differences on the moon issue. In late 2017, a small fraction consisting mainly of businessmen made a bold attempt to disconnect the UK from its world and historic markaz in Nizamuddin, Delhi. This resulted in a huge backlash and call for reforms. Consequently, the UK Shura was extended and the need to reform the madrasa was raised by the Tablighi circle throughout the UK. The students being produced were not participating in the work of Dawah, and it seemed bitterly obvious that something was seriously wrong with the ethos of the madrasa. Maulana Saeed Patel was running the madrasa for many years, but there were seriously financial difficulties with debt exceeding £1 million. Maulana Saeed was also heavily linked with the businessmen linked with the anti-Nizamuddin Markaz fraction from Blackburn. Despite this, out of respect for who his father was, the Dewsbury trustee, mainly Haji Bostan, Shabbir Daji and Haji Abdul Muqeet Rahmatullahi Alayh, did not take direct action to put a stop to this. However, as time went by, the tension got worse, and after almost 2 years, Maulana Saeed Patel and his counterpart Maulana Yusuf Darwan were removed from their positions. Since their departure, the madrasa became a battleground for regular sabotage and regular complaints of Ofsted, local authority and any government body that had an sort of authority over the madrasa. This became a regular problem where now considerable amount of money had to be spent to hire consultants and education specialists to resist the onslaught from Ofsted. The level of collaboration between Ofsted and the moles within the madrasa was absolutely shameful. Headlines were viral on the presence of a book promoting the Sharia and denouncing homosexuality in the library. Teachers who were linked with the former Maulana Saeed Patel regime were arguing with inspectors and deliberately portraying a picture of incompetence in British value and safeguarding. This becomes so regularly and frequently that the local authority raised concern that there is something else going on. The trustees of the Markaz spent thousands of pounds on the madrasa with a budget unprecedented in the history of the institute, and experts of the highest levels were hired, including legal advisors with years of experience. The regular Muslim advisor from the Association of Muslim Scholars such as Mr. Ashfaq Chowdhury, including Mr. Yusuf Saadat, were also hired who were active members of the Tablighi Jamaat and well known throughout the Muslim school sector. The vision given to the consultants was that we want the highest standards in the national curriculum, including a level in English, maths, and science. The school was working towards the vision to produce scholars and imams fit for modern Britain and Europe so that they could be equipped with the skills to lead their community most effectively. However, when those plans reached implementation stage, the lack of cooperation from those rebellious elements within the staff who were linked with the former regime of Maulana Saeed Patel was visibly evident. Rather, on the actual day of the inspections, deliberate sabotage and disruptions were taking place. This left the trustee with no choice but to close at the end of December, just before the 12th of December, so that the court interventions does not create further instability in the institute. This has come as a complete shock to many. However, it's important to note that this is not the end, but rather the beginning of a new era. And that vision has not stopped there just because of a few disgruntled sabotagers. Insha'Allah, in the coming days, provisions for the over 16 will be looked into so that the alim course etc. can be continued within a legal framework. In times like this, those individuals who were behind this closure throughout the illegal use of Ofsted powers and other government agencies are now sending racist messages to target the Bengali, Kashmiri and Pakhtun community to try to present some sort of crisis with the hope of destabilizing the markaz. The parents and ulama are now demanding a full investigation so that those sabotagers can now be publicly named and prevented from damaging other institutes throughout the Muslim community, as was seen via a fake letter produced by a disgruntled rival in Birmingham which led to the Trojan horse saga in Birmingham and beyond. May Allah protect us and our children from all type of fitna, especially from those within. Muhammad Ibrahim.